Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Guild of Master Chimney Sweeps Annual General Meeting 2021. And just in case you don't know, I'm Lawson White, current chair of the Guild. This year's meeting is a little different, being our first and hopefully our only online AGM. We expect to return to a physical meeting next year, but would hope to learn something from this online experience that we might use in future meetings to include as many members as possible. As you know, this AGM is the first meeting of a day of online events. You've been sent a timetable of those today. Starting at midday, we've got a series of 5 seminars, seminar presentations starting on the hour, every hour. Then this evening, we have the live draw for the charity raffle, followed by the quiz. Shortly after the seminars, actually at 5 o'clock, there's the best van competition entrance and announcement of the winners. So hopefully something for everybody there. You can get the details of all of those events along with the link on how to join any of them by going to the latest news on the Guild page or following the link in your email sent earlier this morning. In another first, we'll also be attempting to live stream all of today's meetings except this one onto the Guild Trade Facebook page. So that'll be interesting. The AGM is a company meeting and it's essentially a report on various aspects of Guild business since March last year. In a moment, you'll hear a message from each of the Guild directors, followed by our company presentation. First, though, it might be worth reminding ourselves of who and what we are. The Guild is a trade association in the form of a not-for-profit, private limited company. We have a set of company rules, our articles of association. This largely means there are no shareholders for the Guild, and that any profits need to be reinvested to the benefit of members and the wider sweeping industry. Now, I only say this because lots of our members are really not aware of how the Guild works as an organisation. All activities we undertake must provide benefits in this respect, and the board of directors are legally bound to observe this requirement within the company rules. Beyond that, we can do whatever we like, so we're always keen to, develop and seize new opportunities which will further the Guild and the industry and add to our benefits of membership. So the Guild has led the way in many areas of our industry for many years now, we feel. The foundation for this success is undoubtedly the training and membership requirements and the guidance of a diverse and democratic board of directors. We get hundreds of inquiries about membership every year, but of course, not many end up joining. So this approach has resulted in a well-trained, proficient membership with successful sweeping businesses. So every one of us is equally important to the overall success of the Guild, and in some ways each other. The rest of this presentation will share some of those successes with you and outline our future plans. So we'll just share today's agenda up onto your screen just now. I see Russell Pearce has just joined us. Hello, Russell. The presentation and the rest of the meeting will cover the details in your agenda. At the end of the presentation, we will vote on a special resolution for nomination, election and voting procedures at future Guild elections. So to the first point on your agenda, we've not been made aware of any matters arising from the previous meeting minutes, and so the board has moved to accept them. We'll now hear from each of our directors, beginning with Stephen Howard, and then the presentation is broadly, after that, is broadly in line with your agenda. I do need to apologise for the loss of sound on the last part of John Stone's piece. Apologies, we worked late into the night last night to sort this out. So John's sound is missing for a minute. Bear with us, the presentation carries on as normal after that. So if we could start our presentation.
Hi everyone, this is Stephen Howard. Great to see you all. Just a shame we're not able to meet up in person on this occasion. Gosh, what a difference a year makes. Looking back to when we met up last time at the Chesford Grange, in actual fact, this year's exhibition for 2021 for the Guild had been put into place, and we were actually all set to go, but circumstances alters cases, and it was apparent pretty much after the exhibition that things were going to be different, and they were going to be different for quite some time. After much negotiating and toing and froing, it was evident we couldn't have the live exhibition. The Guild directors have met up on several occasions. We had weekly meetings throughout April and May of last year. We decided that the only way forward really for this year would be to consider having an online exhibition. It just wasn't going to be feasible location wise, and everything was against us. But anyway, moving forward, so there is some good news for 2022 in that we have already got a venue in place, and you will hear a little bit more about that throughout this meeting. We've had a good year in some ways. As I say, the Guild directors met up weekly. We got through quite a lot of topics. I think we supplied the right information to the members. Lots of emails were sent out. I know a lot of that was received with thanks. A lot of members were relieved that the Guild were proactive in what they did. And myself being part of the team with the Guild, I was privileged that we were able to give that information, and also the clarity that came with it, because let's face it, it was uncertain times for all of us. None of us knew what was going on, and it was just who knew what was going to happen. So from that point of view, I think we came through it well. And as a membership and as an association, I'm proud to say that I was part of that, and hopefully from the membership point of view, you were proud to be part of the team as well, because at the end of the day, the Guild of Master Chimney Sweeps, that's what we are. We're a team. We all work together, and more importantly, we are all on the same side. I think one thing that has been noticeable in the last 12 months has been the way that the Guild has probably gelled better, in that everybody seems to have looked out for one another. They've come together, they've helped one another, they've communicated more. I know Facebook and social media is a wonderful thing. Sometimes it doesn't always work to everybody's advantage, but I think certainly during the last 12 months and a little bit beyond, it has benefited a great deal of people. And again, it's given them that reassurance, knowing that there's somebody there who's in the same position as them, and we're all going through it together. So from my perspective, I've been privileged to have been part of that, and I'm thankful that we are getting through it now. The Guild team, really, they're a good team, what we've got. You'll hear the other directors' reports, excuse me. You'll hear the other directors' reports. Everybody's worked really quite hard in their own fields, in what they're doing, attending various meetings, having time out from the businesses, generally just doing what is expected of individuals who's really entrusted with the responsibilities that you guys, the membership, expect from us. So thanks for putting that trust in us. Personally, I would like to pass on my thanks to my fellow directors. I think, as I mentioned, we've got a cracking team. The office in Barnsley with Dave and Nina, they do a stunning job. And Lawson, our chairman, I think it's fair to say that the Guild is in the best position really it's ever been. And it really is humbling to know that Lawson and the Guild Lawson as part of the Guild is steering us in a direction which I think maybe 2-3 years ago, possibly you wouldn't have dreamed of being at the position we're at. So for that, I'm very, very grateful. It's just a shame we can't meet up. We will meet up again, I'm certain of that. As I say, the 2022 exhibition is in place. I've been to various venues in recent times, and it's got a bit difficult really with venues, because believe it or not, they've really put the prices up. They really want everything that is just not possible from such a small organisation. But I think we've done reasonably well, and I think you'll be pleased with the outcome. So with that said, really, there's not much else for me to say other than thank you all for attending this meeting. It is different. It's just one of those things. Nobody knows what's happening, so we have to deal with it. And with that, I thank you all very much, and enjoy the rest of the Guild online exhibition and AGM. And God willing, we'll all meet up soon. And whoever's first at the bar can buy me a drink. Thank you very much. Take care, everybody. And thanks again. I really do appreciate your support. It means a lot. Take care all. Bye for now.
Good morning. My name is Gavin Cater. Late in February 2020, I was delighted to be elected to the board of the Guild of Master Chimney Sweeps by my fellow members. Little did anyone know, 1 month later, the country would be locked down due to a global pandemic. This downtime gave the existing directors and myself time to hold regular weekly meetings, which helped greatly in settling me into my role. This time was also used to set up a new online operating system for all Guild company business. This has been a huge development in allowing the directors to get on with the jobs in hand. John Stone and myself also worked together on changing the Guild refresher course so it could be delivered online. We've now delivered this course to over 50 members during the past year. We've also been involved with updating and delivering the Masterful Sweeping course. In 2021 so far, I've been lead trainer on 3 courses. The last one was just last week at Hingham in Norfolk. I've also carried out numerous assessments in my role as a Guild assessor, some of these taking place at weekends to speed up the process of becoming a member for our new members. Whilst on the subject of training, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the companies who support us by providing new equipment for the candidates to use on our courses. Rod Station, Rod Tech, Advanced Chimney Cameras, Tamar Brush and Wakefield Brush have all been a massive help to John and myself over the past year. Just a couple of weeks ago, Dave, John and myself held an online on-site trainers and mentors meeting to bring in some much needed new blood to our on-site trainers program. This part of the Masterful Sweeping process is vital, and we cannot do it without the help of our valued, experienced trainers. So again, I would like to thank them for all their help during this difficult year. If anyone would like to become an on-site trainer or a mentor, please get in touch. I would like to think my passion for this trade is evident, and my drive is to ensure the Guild keep raising the bar when it comes to standards and professionalism. That's about all from me. I'd just like to finish by thanking you all for giving me this opportunity to be part of running this great association. Thank you very much. Bye.
Hi, I'm John. I'm the Guild Director for Scotland. I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of what we've been up to and what's happened since last AGM. So a lot's happened since the last AGM to the Guild and the industry as a whole. COVID affected us all in many ways throughout the UK and to various degrees and severity. Surprisingly though, is the increase in work via installations and therefore sweep related work. In Scotland, we've seen a sharp increase in demand for services of our members that they provide, and it's very encouraging. April, Gavin and I updated worked to update and provide a relevant refresher online, as the COVID was obviously preventing anybody attending any courses in a centre or anything. These are attended by quite a few people now and been very positive in the responses we've had back. So if you haven't been on one, do look into it. There'll be more information on refreshers and the training courses anyway coming up. Whilst doing this, we also realised that we needed to update and improve the Masterful Sweep course and the manual, all of which is on an ongoing process, although we've actually got it pretty tight now. Obviously, as things change, more things will be put in and updates will be able to be put into the new manual once everybody's been through the system and got the new version. It'll be quicker and more efficient, and you'll get the information quicker, and more effectively too. We've run 2 additional Masterful Sweep courses in Scotland since things became a little more open, with a course at the end of March and another at the end of June this year. Also with a rotary sweep course, equipment course put on the end, which was an addition, which was nothing directly to do with the Guild, but it just showed we were giving training opportunities to people within Scotland. The centre we've done it at is ATC Energy in Aberdeen. I met the guys there when they started doing heat task courses, and talked them into building a few chimneys. So what we've done is we built a couple which have allowed for more training opportunities than just basic sweep courses or another. We've been given 2 eco design stages, various bits of sweeping equipment, sweep sheets, bits of accessories by various different suppliers, all of which help give a better experience when anyone doing a course. The training centres allowed us to do extras other than just sweep courses, so there's potential for doing installation bits and pieces, showing how to put things together, but there's also CCTV, integrity testing, all of which are all under development to improve anyway. Okay, and there is more information on this coming up in other sections. In December, representatives of the Guild, National Association of Chimney Sweeps, Burnright, Federation of British Chimney Sweeps, and Chimney Skills Training were asked to join in a consultation by SEPA and the Scottish Government, read the emissions and the environment changes we've got to make. We all responded with more answers than they actually asked the questions for. And in recent conversations I've had with them as follow-ups and to do with other sections within the Scottish Government, we actually had very positive results, been invited onto various working groups as well. So the word is getting out there. Our status as industry experts and being best placed to deliver the information to the environmental health officers, as well as the Joe public, our customers basically, alike, is now being acknowledged by the Scottish Government, the ministers, MSPs and SEPA, building standards within Scotland. Rather than document J, we have a technical handbook, but all these things are highlighting the fact that we are the experts in the field. I'm happy to report that the Scottish Guild membership is now represents approximately 10% of the entire Guild membership. We've just over 40 members working currently as certified sweeps, of which some are fully qualified as either NVQ or City and Guilds from before. And there's also some going through the system right at this minute. So it's all very positive. In fact, we've got more qualified Guild members in Scotland than any other association. So that's pretty good. Having said that, cross-association communication is better than it's ever been. We've helped remove some of the age-older misunderstandings of abilities. It's actually made working a lot easier, because where some of you may have just blamed the other one for coming from a different association, now we talk to each other, and it's quite often it's the stories told by others that are actually aren't actually true. So the divisions that were driven between us by others to their advantage have been reduced considerably. So it's all very good for the train. This better communication and openness, combined with better training opportunities you can now supply, and the supportive nature of the Guild in itself in Scotland, probably actually helps encourage the growth of the Guild in Scotland among existing sweeps and new ones looking to train in the trade. So Guild and the professional chimney sweeps in Scotland have got quite a good future. So we can certainly, communications is definitely beneficial to everyone. So I'll wind up now. Some of this stuff will go over in greater detail in further presentations. Thank you very much.
Good morning, fellow members. Many of you know me over the last few years. I've assessed a lot, trained a lot, and we've had a good social time for the last 20 years or so. But for those that don't know me, I'm David Woofington, the Training Director and Treasurer. I joined the Guild as a probationary member in 1995, and I was assessed for sitting guilds in 97. In 1999, Bill White, who set up the Guild, asked if I fancied taking the role over as assessor, and I said, yes, please. So here I am, 22 years later. Anyway, let's move on. The last 12 months have been challenging, to say the least. Thankfully, the board's decision to move all our admin procedures online with OneDrive, MSN 365, it proved invaluable, as it was imperative our admin continue as normal when restrictions were put into place. Anyway, let's move on. Financial report. The Guild's finances for 2020 remain quite healthy, as you can see by the balance sheet and detailed accounts being shown on the screen, as in document 1. Should anyone require any information, please send an email to info@guildofmasterchimneysweeps and we will forward it on unless you've already got the means of accessing it on the day. Moving on now with the training report. To say organising training courses last year, that was challenging. That's an understatement. We booked 7 courses and they all had to be cancelled throughout the year. We still managed to reschedule and hold 4 courses, albeit with reduced numbers and extra precautions. And you'll see the slide on screen now. On-site training became a bit of a hurdle too, as many of our trainers, including myself, were put under shielding measures. So many thanks to those trainers that continued this imperative part of our candidates training programme. You are very much appreciated, all of you. If any member with a minimum of 5 years experience is interested in becoming an on-site trainer, we do need more. Please complete the online form on the trade site under training courses. Just fill it in and it will come to us and we will assess it and get in touch with you in due course. So moving the refresher courses was the next thing. We put them online. This enabled us to hold another 4 courses last year. Many thanks to Gavin and John for their input and delivery of this excellent course. We know we have members waiting to do the thatch property course, which we are currently trying to adapt to and online too. So we'll advertise it once we can confirm everything is in place. We also hope to try and hold a couple of camera courses before the end of the year, if possible, as these need to be done in a classroom setting. As soon as we can confirm dates and venues, again, we'll add it to the training pages on the website. For those members who have previously booked or shown interest in these 2 courses, these one-day courses that is, we will be in touch with you first by email before we advertise it. Lastly, on training, I would like to thank Gavin Cater and John Stone for taking up the mantle and keeping the training courses and final assessments going. For member details, as you will be able to see from the slide on screen, which is document 3, we continue to have above 400 members. I think this time of it's brilliant. What more can I say? I've enjoyed the last 12 months, in fact the last 18 months. I've done more gardening. I've thoroughly enjoyed myself. Been nice to relax. First time I've relaxed for about 50 years. But anyway, I hope to see you all later. Take care now. Bye.
Thanks to all of you for that. As Dave said, if you want a copy of the financial statements, please just email and ask. So here's a quick rundown on Guild finances. Our finances are good. We can meet all our commitments and have some left over for new projects and perhaps further advertising later in the year. The favourable bank balance is partly due to a big reduction in training last year. Contrary to popular belief, good training courses are great for the membership, but they don't make much, if any, profit. And there are always costs associated with development, admin, etc. And it all adds up. The financial situation is also partly to do with the generosity of our board. As the COVID crisis arrived last year, the board stepped up from monthly to weekly meetings for a couple of months and waived their fees. It was felt this was one of the ways they could return good value to members at an uncertain time. Given the extra stresses placed on them at that time, I'd like to thank the directors for their generosity and reasoned debate in difficult circumstances. Meetings are back to once a month, but the board have yet to reinstate their fees. Looking back to last April, I produced a report and a proposal that the board adopt a new administrative system for managing the Guild. Our old systems were cumbersome and inefficient. Now, few people enjoy admin, but poor admin is costly, wasteful, and results in unprofessional mistakes. The additional time afforded by the lockdown enabled us to familiarise ourselves with the new system and begin the task of organising the new structure and loading the many files. It's been an out and out success, and all the work that the Guild undertakes now is faster, more accurate, and it costs us less. At the time of the first lockdown, there were some calls to refund member subscriptions. It was decided that rather than return an extra £100 or so, if there was one thing members would need coming out of the crisis, it would be customers confident enough to pick up the phone, and the more of them, the better. So we concentrated on advice for getting back to work and began a diverse online consumer advertising campaign. The advertising has been very successful. We've expanded the campaign, and for the first time ever, this Guild advertising is now permanent. At any one time, we have between 2 and 4 different Google AdWords campaigns running, and also between 2 and 5 paid Facebook adverts. All this activity is designed to drive potential customers to the Find a Chimney Sweep website. We keep an eye on the competition, so that's the other associations, and the Guild are the only association to undertake organised advertising like this on behalf of its members. We'll go over some stats on costs and results of this advertising in a few minutes. A little word about training. David has said how difficult it was, and it most certainly was. The training that did get done, well, thank you so much to all those involved. Gavin and John really stepped up, and they had others helping them too. That was excellent. They covered most of it, as I said, but one future aspect which is evolving right now is the delivery of short duration courses. These courses result in official additional competencies for candidates, and they're awarded by the Construction Industries Training Board, or CITB. So they are like bolt-on extra bits to an NVQ, and these courses would cover things like environment and smoke nuisance, which would incorporate bits of burn right and burn better consumer information, or perhaps they'd be things like chimney inspection course with all the associated record keeping, that sort of thing. There are specific regulatory criteria for these types of course, and this function will be provided by Chimney Skills Training. All of the sweep associations in the Federation of British Chimney Sweeps will have the opportunity to deliver such courses. The main development is that all courses are mapped against the agreed criteria and delivered by qualified teachers, and the assessment process is ultimately overseen by CITB. So the learning and assessment process will be the same no matter who delivers it, and the standard will be consistent across the industry. So I'd like to talk a little bit about website developments. Over the last 18 months or so, a good website has shown itself to be of great value, whether it's for an individual sweep or for our whole organisation. As you know, we have 2 main websites. Find a Chimney Sweep is where customers can look at all the Guild members' profiles and contact details and get a host of chimney and fire related advice. It's where many people start their search for a sweep. The Guild trade site is just that. It's mostly for members and trade. We'll start with Find a Chimney Sweep, because that's the site that gets your phone to ring, and it's our shop window to show ourselves off to the public. For those that you don't know, this site was completely recoded and rewritten with new content in middle of 2018. Since then, I've made it my personal goal that it become the top site for anyone looking for a chimney sweep. This process takes considerable planning, consistency, it takes constant innovation and a good IT team. And importantly, and often overlooked, it takes time. These things have to bed in and momentum needs to be built. So we have reported previously that we increased visitors to the Find a Chimney Sweep site by about 35% in 2020 compared with 2019. That was a great result. The majority of these visitors are what's called organic visitors, which means they went onto the internet looking for a sweep, they searched and they found us. We began paid AdWords campaigning advertising in May last year, and of course this brought a few more visitors. When you perform a search and you see results with a little ad symbol at the top left of the listing, these are the paid ads. Since last May, we have upped the number of adverts, and since last November, we spent over £500 every month on AdWords campaigns alone. No other association is doing this sort of thing. We also use paid Facebook advertising to bring customers to the site, and right now there are 3 different adverts running to appeal to different people. You can see the visitor numbers here. Interestingly, in the early couple of months of 2020, before coronavirus came about, you can already see that the increase was well underway. So we don't think that it had a great deal to do with the virus situation. And indeed, we've carried that on into 2021 so far. Last November, I set a 2021 growth target of 10% for visitors to the Find a Chimney Sweep website. And I'm delighted to say it now seems wildly conservative. You can see that from the graph. Looking at this period from January to July this year, we have increased visitors by over 100% compared to the same period last year. And don't forget, last year was already a record. So that's double. Now, it's quite easy to get new visitors to a site with some clever Facebook ads, but our visitors are spending considerable time on the site. And whilst there, they're looking at multiple pages. Importantly, we can see that they are using the sweep search and looking at your business profiles. We have a great bounce rate for the site, meaning that when people get there, they stay. So what next? Well, you may recall a few months ago, we made some changes to the look and the function of the sweep search pages. We introduced a Find Chimney Sweeps Near Me box to the home page to accompany the town and postcode search box. There are many more people searching on mobile devices now, and this is a better way for them to do it using the Find Sweeps Near Me. We've also introduced a map view for the search results, so customers get an instant picture of all the members inside and outside their local search area. There are new functions for your individual profile pages. Your customers can contact you in new ways, and you can display photos and even videos here. All of this helps with the visitor experience and means they are more likely to call you. They're also more familiar with the site, so if they leave and return, they're more likely to engage another time. They'll be even more likely to call you if you have updated your profile. You can see now an example of what we get if we search Gloucester on the sweep search. If you look down the list of that fine bunch, you can see Glen Howitt at the bottom. If we select details or click him on the map, it takes us to Howitt's profile page. This profile page has been fully updated. It has more ways for the customers to contact Howitt's. It has links to the company website and social media pages, and it has a great selection of photos and videos. So please spend a little time updating your profile. If you use the search box on the Find the Chimney Sweep website and search Profile Update, you'll see the instructions on what to do. If you do nothing else, then please send us your About Us piece for your profile page. It should be personal to you, but you can see examples on other members' pages. Although the look of the whole Find a Chimney Sweep website didn't change much earlier in the year, there have been significant changes to the back end. Taking the advice of our IT team, we decided not to spend on additional search engine optimizations and instead decided to redevelop the functionality of the site. It's been more work, but it will deliver more profound and long-lasting improvement and will serve us well over the next couple of years. These changes take months to be picked up by search engines, so they're only really just taking effect now. But how does all this benefit us as members? Here's a few stats to show just how effective the site is. Many visitors will perform a search, get a list of sweeps and call someone. Maybe they even recognise you from last year. Some will go on to look at your personal profile and the services you offer, etc. From here, they may call you, they might email, WhatsApp, they may visit your website or a Facebook page. Here's the top 5 members for visitors to the personal profile on the Find a Chimney Sweep website. You can see that one has even over 1,000. Remember that each one of these visitors is someone looking for a chimney sweep. They're going to book someone. So it's all good news, and that's getting better all the time. You may notice we've not given you the actual visitor numbers for Find a Chimney Sweep. This is because we consider them to be commercially sensitive. There is nothing I'd like better to know than other associations' web stats. For this reason alone, your subscription of your guild member subscription of £284 a year is probably looking like a bargain. So onto the guild trade site. This is the Guild of Master Chimney Sweeps.co.uk website, and here you find latest news, the digital magazine archive, training information, updates, trade information, etc. We don't spend any money promoting this site directly, as the cash is best spent on Find a Chimney Sweep, of course. If there's one underused function on both these websites, it's the search box. If you have a question or you are doing some research, please enter a couple of keywords into the search box and you may be pleasantly surprised at what you find. The latest news archive alone contains a massive collective knowledge and interesting items. Aggressively develop and promote both these sites to members' advantage, allocating significant funds where it's prudent to do so. On to a bit about marketing and advertising. Now, of course, that's mixed up with websites, of course. When we market the Guild and its members to 2 audiences. One is obviously consumers and the other is potential members, potential future members, and to a lesser extent to the wider solid fuel trade. Our websites are obviously completely tied up with our marketing and advertising, but website pages and articles tend to be the ultimate target of any advertising. As our knowledge and experience develops, our consumer advertising is getting more sophisticated and more effective. So we can choose to get more traffic for the same spending or the same traffic for less cost. Advertising is reviewed weekly and is closely monitored. If an opportunity pops up, we tend to go for it. We now have a big library of adverts ready to use whenever it's appropriate. Consumer Facebook page on the screen now. Find a Sweep UK. It's an important and effective place to engage consumers. It's also an important source of visitors for the Find a Chimney Sweep website. We've grown the number of page followers by well over 100 in the last year. New followers are hard for a commercial organisation to come by these days, so we are pleased with this figure. Importantly, these followers are a very engaged bunch. We get good results when advertising to our different target audiences. We promote the tips and advice articles on the Find the Chimney Sweep website on the consumer Facebook page and invite visitors to find out more. This requires the articles to be engaging. It's no good chucking cash at a rubbish ad, it just doesn't work. As members, you can help boost the consumer Facebook page by first liking the page. Some of you will absolutely think that you have liked the page when it's perhaps not the case. So please check, and then liking, commenting and sharing on the individual posts as you see fit. We realise it's not the place for chat, but the more successful it is, the easier it is to get our messages to a wide audience. The members only private group Facebook page continues to be an excellent educational resource with no shortage of fellow members happy to help solve one another's problems. As Chimney Sweep social media goes, the members only group is quite a pleasant and polite place, probably because Guild members are generally happier with fewer axes to grind, I think. So marketing the Guild itself, we mostly let the membership and training benefits speak for themselves. Indeed, we've never even advertised the main training course. Some new members tend to find us through a process of elimination of the alternatives. Others are referred by existing members with a view to them working in their business. This last point is becoming quite a phenomenon within the Guild. On a recent course earlier this year, almost half the candidates had been sent by an existing Guild member as a trainee to work within their business. We see this as very encouraging for the Guild and the sweeping industry as a whole. Okay, so on to the Federation of British Chimney Sweeps. It's well worth a quick review of what the Federation is and its purpose. Well, it's just what it says. It's a federation of the main chimney sweep trade associations, 5 main associations, and it represents over 80% of professional sweeps. It's a trade body set up to act as a voice for the sweeping industry when dealing with government departments and industry stakeholders, or just any organisation or body that wishes to engage with the sweeping industry. Likewise, it allows for the sweeping industry to approach these groups with an authority we never had before. The Federation also seeks to promote the trade and the standards of professional sweeps through qualification. Although the Federation is only just over a year old, it's already making a difference in key areas. It's worked with APCOG, the All-Party Parliamentary Carbon Monoxide Group. This gives sweeps an important voice within the industry. We're already making progress with smart alarms and the role of sweeps as potential home visitors. That's the advocacy role that sweeps have with their customers. They look for your advice. There is much more we can do, of course, with APCOG. I was personally involved in the negotiation for the Federation to become a stakeholder member of the Stove Industry Alliance. This gives sweeps a direct link with stove manufacturers and the aims of the SIA. We see good relationship developing here as we understand one another better, share resources, and collaborate on mutually beneficial messaging and that sort of thing. The Federation and also the Guild itself have a place at BFCMA meetings. That's the British Flue and Chimney Manufacturers Association. A lot of acronyms here. Again, it's all about closer ties with parts of the industry that we were never really joined up with. We are talking now, and already, for example, the Birdguard paint delamination issue has reached manufacturers' ears. The Guild instigated the investigation and reporting mechanism for the problem of delamination, but the Federation can take it further than we ever could. So the Federation can also promote environmental issues of air quality through the link between consumers, sweeps, and ultimately government. There are a number of other significant developments, not least of all the first ever review of the occupational standards that define the role and the scope of work of a professional chimney sweep. There's too much to go into today. We will release all this information as a presentation package in a few weeks' time. Other meetings and groups, the Guild has always taken a lead and an active role in engaging with other groups, and this continues with our direct work with DEFRA in England and SEPA in Scotland, as well as the other groups mentioned regarding the Federation. But, and this is important, it's no longer so necessary for us to pursue as much of a solo lead with these groups as we've done in the past. We see a more productive outcome by bringing our agendas via the Federation. I believe this gives the Guild a great opportunity to concentrate further on developing and expanding the benefits of Guild membership, and I intend that we take that opportunity. So looking forward, our marketing and advertising is in a great place, with better to come. Our recent investments have ensured that. I will be pursuing conversations with the board around developing further online training, and we hope to soon be able to deliver some of the short duration courses mentioned earlier. The series of events we are hosting today have taught us a lot about delivering online material, and I intend we capitalise on this experience, add further online experiences and training where appropriate. That said, there's no substitute for sweeps getting together, and we'll always try to organise for you to be together whenever possible. That brings this part of the presentation to an end, so I'll now welcome back the rest of the board. Hello there again, everybody. We're just going to bring the other board members' cameras back up. If they could remain muted. if anybody else does have their camera on, apart from board member, if they could turn it off and mute yourself. You can see John Stone has appeared. Hi, John. So I'm just going to carry on. I hope that was enlightening in some ways. There is a lot of other information we can give you, and then after this, we hope to present some more or make this presentation available as a complete recording for you, so you can review it. And if it provokes questions, then so much the better. So we'll move on to resolution vote in just a minute. That will not take long. You've got a yes or no option. But 1 or 2 points first. One last thing I forgot to mention from the presentation, and I know I talk about the Find a Chimney Sweep site a lot, but it's where a lot of people first contact ourselves. So potential customers visiting your profile page on the Find a Chimney Sweep site have the opportunity to phone you by tapping or clicking on the phone number on the screen from your profile. Of course, many or even most of them may have already dialed you manually or contacted you in another way. But if they do tap through, the site logs it as an action. So we can see from the stats, for example, that in the last, this is 2020, 93 customers called the Chimney Doctor Northumberland in this way, tapping through using the number from his profile. City Sweeps in London had 76 phone calls come their way that way, and Richard Hinks, can't remember where Richard is, but he had 71. So it's just shown us how well some of these functions on the site are working. Quick announcement, Exhibition 2022 next year. We are very pleased to announce that next year's trade exhibition will be back to normal, probably. Stephen Howard has worked hard and with some difficulties along the way, but we've signed the contract and we will be back at the Chesford Grange Hotel in Kenilworth, Warwickshire, on the 25th and 26th of February next year. So excellent. I need to thank a few people quickly. We get through a great deal of work in any year, and it just couldn't happen without a great team. So the board always go the extra mile to make things happen and keep everything running well. Our board is still not salaried, and guild work is often undertaken at the expense of their own business or even at the expense of their personal lives, I can assure you. So thank you to all of them. Thanks also to Nina Borrowdale for all her help at the office. We couldn't operate at all without our superb IT team and design team of Jez Brooks from CB Creative, Melanie Saunders of Speckled Frog, that's web design, and Emma Williams, who helps out with some of the social media. So let's move on to our special resolution. You should have all received by email and in the post the details of that resolution. We are looking to have a vote on a change to our Articles of Association with regards to the nomination, voting and election procedures that we have at Guild elections. So, for example, there is no requirement for any board of the Guild to offer members a postal vote. There's no requirement for the board to create a time in which any candidates may be questioned or scrutinized, and we would like to cast that right or those rules into the articles for the future. We see it as securing the future of the Guild somewhat. So in a moment, you'll see on your screen, I'm just going to admit somebody, you'll see on your screen a poll. The question will be, do you vote for the resolution on the nomination and the nomination, voting and election procedures to be passed into the articles? And your response is yes or no. So fairly simple. So we'll see the poll come up. you will vote, and we'll maybe have 30, 40 seconds or so for you to do that. So you ought to be able to see the poll now. John, can you give me a thumbs up if you can see it? That's excellent. Really never know what might go wrong in a situation like we're trying to host today. So do you vote yes or no? Now, because I'm presenting this, I don't appear to have a vote, but if it becomes necessary, I will cast a vote later. We'll announce the result of this sometime next week, once the dust has settled from whatever happens today. So if we carry on for maybe another 10 seconds, you can make your mind up which way you would like to vote. Everybody should get in that time. So we'll end it now. Thank you very much all. We haven't received any particular questions regarding any other business. So that might have been rather difficult to achieve anyway. It just remains for me to say, you've got details of the rest of the day. Hopefully we'll see some of you pop up at different times. There's raffle tickets to be bought. There may be new prizes still added to that list. Go to the Guild site or your email and link into any of those future meetings. So just remains for me now to wrap it up and say thank you all very much for attending. And we would hope to release this a video of this entire presentation to you all in the near future. Thank you once again.